Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sisters of the Strange. I'm Shae.
And I'm Landrey. And we're really finally back.
Yay! It's only been a week. It feels like it's been
I think it's
way
been 2
longer.
weeks.
Oh, it's been, you're right. It has been 2 weeks. Yeah, that feels about right.
Yeah.
Well, we had Snowmageddon, Ice-Mageddon this week in Texas, which is not my favorite thing.
I did not think it was going to last as long as it did.
I didn't either.
So like my friends were all prepping and I was like, it'll be fine. And I was like, we're not going to lose power. We'll be fine. I lost power.
Yeah.
But only for like the middle of the night. So it went off at like 3 a.m. and I sleep with the ceiling fan on. I sleep with my fan, like a plug-in fan on. I was sleeping with the projector on because I'd fallen asleep watching like Futurama.
Oh, yeah.
So I had all this noise around me because the projector has like a fan in it too.
Mhm.
So when it turned off, my house said silence and I woke up and it was pitch black and I could see the fan kind of like spiraling down, And I was like, ugh. And I grabbed my phone immediately, turned the flashlight on. I have like a battery powered camping light.
Yeah.
So I went and got it and it was fully charged and has like 20 hours of battery life or something.
Oh,
It has
nice.
a lot. And so it has like 3 settings or something. Like you can click on it multiple times. It's got 3 arms that come out that are the lights.
Yeah.
And so you can only have one of the arms on if you want, or like all of them. And then you can also turn them like the brightness of them on like up or down, and you can turn them from cool to warm.
Oh, nice.
So I turned it on warm, only one arm, and had like as low as possible to make the battery last like as long as possible.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how long my power was going to be out. But I can guarantee I was not about to lay in my house in the pitch black either.
Pitch black and pitch silence?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Heck no. And so I couldn't sleep after that because quiet. I
Yeah.
can't sleep in quiet. So I was watching Futurama on my phone and then it started to die, but I had 2 laptops that were fully charged. So I like went and got one of them and plugged it in and then started to fall asleep. And at like 5:30, my power came back on. Long enough for my Wi-Fi to boot back up and me to put a TV show on
For it to...
and then it would turn off.
Oh, no.
And it did it like 3 or 4 times. And finally, this is the best part. This is the only reason I'm telling this story. Finally, the last time it because it was doing like on and off, right? So it was surging. And my AC unit is in my attic. So my air filter to all of it is like in my hallway and it's in my ceiling. And it has like a grate, but the lever that holds the grate closed is kind of broken. And so it normally just holds on by suction. And so all of the
up and down
of the suctioning. Yeah. So I thought someone was crawling out of my attic because it's where my attic is in my hallway. And it was like power out, insanely loud clatter in the hallway. And I was sleeping in my guest bedroom because the power went out. I was like, that's going to be the warmest place to be since it's a smaller room. And Biggie started barking, which only scared me more. And I had gotten comfortable enough thinking the power was going to stay on that I had left the bedroom door cracked.
Yeah.
Then it's pitch black and the hallway is pitch black right beyond it. And I just heard clatter. And I actually did not sleep with like a gun in that room, but I had the bear spray. And so I was like, grab the bear spray, ready to like beat somebody up coming out of my attic. I was like, they're pissed off like I am about this power surge.
Yeah.
Like we're all fighting.
They're like, great, now the attic's cold. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. This is your fault. And so I walk around the corner and I just see my air filter laying on the ground and the grate is like hanging open.
You're
and
like,
I was like, oh, bless.
Yeah.
And then I had to like try and fix it.
Oh, God.
And I was trying to just like jam stuff in there to like jam it shut basically, where it would like, if the power did it again, it wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, but it stayed up. And then the power turned on finally the next day at like, I don't even know, like 10 a.m. or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty bad out here, but we didn't lose power, but we were stuck. We couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I tried whenever the weather had gotten above freezing.
Yeah, we did too. On Tuesday?
Yeah, I can't imagine that. On the drive here, I was thinking about how long it would take even just to get to the main road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine is like, I get to the main road quickly, but my main road is what was not good.
Yeah. It was pretty bad out here. So that was so fun.
There's actually like still snow
cool.
everywhere.
There's still snow everywhere.
Because my driveway is still snow.
Yeah.
And
My driveway's all ice.
Yeah, it's been a week.
So yeah, that's why we didn't record last week because we couldn't get to each other.
No, I genuinely thought that it was going to snow like Saturday. Sunday, it wasn't forecasted to snow at all. So I was like, it'll melt by Monday.
Yeah, it'll be gone by Monday.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. Nope.
No.
Yeah.
I just left my house for the first time yesterday or Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I left on Wednesday to go to work, but even like coming home was not good.
Yeah, she told me one of the roads she traveled on. And I was like, yeah, I read this morning that it's shut down because there was a car pile up on that road. Like, how did you do that?
Yeah, and I was driving on it at 3 a.m. and there was but thankfully there was nobody. So I was literally going like 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it was slippery.
That's the bad thing. And so people around us want to drive fast, even though they shouldn't. So like I did leave my house once on maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I don't know which day it was. It was one of those because I ran out of Sprite.
I think it was Tuesday because that's the day we went to town.
Whatever day, yeah. Whatever day you went, I tried. And I was like, will not be doing that again. I drove my husband's truck. I had it in full drive the whole way. And I live like right down the road from a Family Dollar. And I was like, I just want Sprite. Like, that's it. That's all I need is Sprite and I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I made it down there and I was like, yeah, this is not cool. I don't even want to drive back home. And once I got home, I was like, so I won't be leaving.
Won't be leaving again.
No.
Yeah, we left because I was losing my mind. You like to be in your house for multiple days at a time.
Didn't bother me at all.
I don't. I called into work Tuesday because there was no way I was driving all the way to Fort Worth and I couldn't drive myself. And I'm not going to make my husband drive me and then have to come pick me up at 3 a.m. Like, that's just not fair to him. And I didn't want to go to work either. Anyway. So I called into work on Tuesday, but I was like pacing around my house. I literally would not sit down. I was pacing up and down in the living room, in the kitchen. Like, I would go sit down in my office for a minute at my computer and like mess with some stuff. And then I would get up and I was just pacing. And I went into the living room and I said, you have to take me out of this house. We have to go somewhere. We have to do something. I cannot be in here anymore. And he was like, okay. Like, well,
he's very much like me. Like, he would have been perfectly fine at home.
Oh yeah. He was
alone.
perfectly content. And I said, take me to town. Target, Walmart, something. I just need to get out and walk around somewhere. And so we ended up going to Walmart and bought Legos.
Yeah.
So we've created this whole Lego monster now, which is my fault.
No, I genuinely almost bought a Lego set. Like, I went to the store on like Friday night, I think, before, because I was in dire need of chicken fries. No one had chicken fries. I was on a hunt.
I came in clutch, by the way.
Yeah. She was like, you need to go to Aldi. Lo and behold, that's the only thing they did have in stock was chicken fries. But I went to Target and I was walking down the aisles and I was like, I really want to buy a Lego set. Like, I was looking at the flower ones. I was like, but what am I going to do with those? Like, where am I going to put them?
Oh, mine are in my office.
I didn't even think about my office, but I have a whole bookshelf and 2 desks. Like, I could definitely put them somewhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just was like, well, I've got coloring books and puzzles. And I started the puzzle and was like, I read some books. I kind of watched TV. I really just slept a lot.
I watched a lot of documentaries.
I just slept. I was like, cool, good night. And played on my phone like a lot. Played on my phone a lot.
Yeah. My husband and I watched this new show on Netflix. Well, it's not new, but this show that we'd never seen before called King of Collectibles. And my husband and I are huge nerds when it comes to like collectible things, Pokemon cards, sports cards, like anything that has like value, but it's like stuff that we enjoy.
Yeah.
And so we've always collected Pokemon cards, but we started watching this new show and there's like all these sports cards and all these things. And we watch F1 and into all that right now. And so they have collectible cards as well that are worth hella money. Oh. And so we just spent some money on a couple of boxes of cards for that. And so I'm like, oh God, we've really just like, this has just really been bad for us because now we have a Lego problem. Now we have another card addiction.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's like, oh my God, we're just wasting money sitting in this house. Get me out of here.
I didn't spend any money.
Oh my God.
I benefited from the snow because I was like, I didn't DoorDash anything.
Yeah.
I didn't Amazon anything and I couldn't go to Target. So I didn't spend any money.
The worst part about it is we bought 2 boxes of cards that were supposed to be delivered before it froze. And they didn't get delivered until yesterday. So that's what we did this morning is opened all our cards.
Yeah. No, I really didn't plan ahead for the weather at all.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I was
all of that to say.
Yeah, I was starting to run. My dogs ate weenies one night for dinner. So I ran out of their wet food and I'd even bought more wet food and they ran out. So. Anyways, today we are doing listener stories.
Woo!
Yeah, we've been getting quite a few. And so I was like, let's just take some off the top. I only took like 6. So I don't know how long these will take, how long they won't, but that's what we're going to do.
Yay, I'm so excited. I love these.
I know.
Wait, did you see, is any of these, I saw that somebody sent pictures of their dog. Did you look at that story?
Yes, I did not use that one, I don't think.
Okay.
Because I didn't put the picture of the dog in here. I was like, I'm going to wait on that one. I like opened it, read it, and then I was like, okay, no, not yet.
Yeah. I looked at it too and I put it as unread. You can cut all that out if you want. But
no, you're good.
I was like, oh, there's a little cute little doggy. Cute little dog. Anyways.
Yeah, and a bunch of people have commented being like, you can bring your dogs anytime onto the podcast.
And you're like, yeah.
They're just difficult, or it was really biggy. I thought she would just like lay down the whole time, and then she was jumping on the coffee table in the other room and
You're being cray-cray.
breaking the walls.
She's a silly girl.
She's a good girl, but she's crazy. And like I've left her home alone since the weather's good. Like Friday, I went with Murphy to pick the kids up from school, and then yesterday I was home most of the day. Left the afternoon, and then when I was leaving again today, she was like, "Where are you going?" Like Biggie followed me the whole way. Like, please do not leave me.
Don't leave.
Oh, she hates it. Okay, so story number 1. Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I've only been listening for about 3 weeks, and I'm already completely caught up. Y'all are doing an amazing job.
Oh, thanks, Scarlett.
I'm like, thanks. I like your name.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, here's my story and how I almost got kidnapped at my job in my own car.
Oh.
I live in a very small town in North Carolina, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. At the time, I was 16 years old and working the day shift at my high school job, Taco Bell.
Hey! We love Taco Bell.
During my shift, I noticed a man probably in his mid-30s sitting in the lobby. He wasn't eating, he wasn't on his phone, he was just watching me, tracking every move I made behind the counter. I tried to brush it off at first, but the longer it went on, the more uncomfortable I felt. At one point in time, I had to go clean the restroom. As I walked away, I noticed the man, yeah.
That's rough at Taco Bell.
Sorry, Scarlett.
Dang, girl. You've seen some stuff.
Yeah. Prepped for literally any job after. At one point in time, I had to go clean the restroom. As I walked away, I noticed the man fully turned his body to stare straight at me the entire time. That's when I got really uneasy. I radioed a coworker and asked them to come get me from the bathroom, but no one ever came. I didn't want to be alone, so I rushed out and went straight to the back of the store. I finished the rest of my shift, trying not to think about it too much. When it was time to clock out, I made my food and drinks for myself and my now ex-boyfriend. Before leaving, I asked my manager if someone could walk me out, which no one did.
Oh.
I exited through the back door carrying food and drinks in both hands, and that's when I saw him. The same man was outside, and the second he saw me, he started speed walking toward me. I was fumbling with my keys, completely panicking. Earlier that day, when I went on break, I had leaned my seat back and scooted it further away from the wheel, something I immediately regretted. As he got closer, he started trying to talk to me, but I didn't respond. I threw everything into the car, jumped in, started it, and threw it into reverse so fast I almost hit him. Honestly, I kind of wish I had.
Yeah.
As I was backing up, he grabbed the back door handle and tried to open it. Thankfully, my doors were locked. I sped out of there, shaking but safe. So yeah, please always be aware of your surroundings and always lock your car doors. And before you ask, yes, he's banned from the store. Thank y'all so much for the spooky and murderous stories. I love y'all.
Oh my God.
At 16, you'll never catch me working ever again.
Scarlett, that's scary.
But also horrible coworkers.
Yeah.
Why did no one save you twice? You asked for help twice.
I called for help twice.
And everyone's like,
Not
sorry.
a fuck you, sorry, or nothing.
Basically what you got. That's horrifying.
Oh my God, that's so scary. I was getting, you know that movie, The Lonely Bones?
Yes.
Or is it Lovely Bones or Lonely Bones?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking about.
Those vibes is what I was getting.
Yeah.
Oof.
I was getting straight to you walking into a parking garage every night after your shift is over. And
we
apparently
walk in groups.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Well, apparently there was a serial killer one time who was like a parking garage serial killer. And the way that he got people is he would cut your Achilles. Like as soon as you were like going up to your car, he would cut your ankles and then take you.
Oh, I hate that. That's
so
horrifying.
Be careful.
We walk in a big group when we leave. All of us that leave at 3 a.m., we wait for each other and we all walk out together.
That's good.
Because of scary people like that.
Stuff like that. Yeah. That's horrifying.
Wild.
Taco Bell. I love Taco Bell. I eat there all the time. But that's very scary.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in North Carolina. I've been there and like the places I've been, it's very rural to where it's like you're in a town, but you're not like a town like we're used to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty like out there. So very interesting. But
Very
thank you,
interesting.
Scarlett. I'll have to email you and let you know your story's going to be out.
I love that. I hope you see my face when you listen to this, because when you said that he grabbed your back door handle, I said, no.
That is one of my biggest fears. I always make sure my doors are locked, and if I see someone walking towards me, I like click them, and I'm like, I don't care that they just heard that, because you know they can hear the.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't care.
I don't care. Keep walking.
Yeah, look at me. I dare you.
I ain't the one.
I will run someone over. I've thought about it multiple times, especially after our last episode. Where you did the urban legends and we're talking about New Mexico. Did you see someone commented? They were like, I'm driving through that part right now, like the exact stretch.
Yes.
But just that alone, I've always watched videos or thought about like how I would get out of a situation. Because there's videos where people will be like stuck. Like I've watched one in particular, and it's like this car is on like an interstate, but it's got medians on both sides, but like the concrete barrier medians to where you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And a car stops in the middle, and like people start piling out of their car to try and get the people that are coming up next, and they run through their doors. Like they run their doors over.
Yeah.
Like they're like, I don't care. I'll take your door off.
Yeah. See ya.
And so I think about stuff like that. I'm like, I'll be driving.
I'll just keep going
everywhere. I do not care. It's crazy.
Beat.
Yeah, but watch out. Ooh. Okay. Story number 2. Hi girls. My name is Ainsley, and I stumbled upon your podcast when it popped up on my Spotify one day. Also a great name.
Ainsley.
I've been obsessed with it ever since. I've spent the last few weeks binge watching and listening, and I've loved every episode. Although I did have to take a break at one point because I was getting paranoid and freaking myself out. Oops. Same.
Sorry, girl.
Same. No, I do it to myself when I'm doing research. I'm like, oh, it's dark outside. Never mind. Close my computer. I'm like, that's for tomorrow. Anyway, my story is about the little girl that haunts my house.
We started off so strong.
We're doing good there for a minute. I live in a very small historic town of Rogersville, Tennessee. My house is a 2-story brick home that was built in our subdivision around the year 2000. My parents told me that one night when I was about 2 or 3 years old, before my younger sister was even born, my mom was getting ready for bed in the bathroom attached to their bedroom, and my dad was relaxing on the bed, and I was asleep in my room upstairs. When I was little, I always slept in nightgowns and wore my hair in 2 pigtail braids. My parents had one of those old baby monitors with a small black and white screen so they could check on me during the night. At one point, my dad looked at the monitor and noticed a little girl standing next to my bed. She had 2 pigtail braids and was wearing a nightgown, exactly like me.
Oh my God.
He watched the screen for a few moments, wondering why I was out of bed. A minute later, my mom glanced at the monitor and asked, "What's Ainsley doing out of bed?" My dad paused, staring at the screen, finally before saying, that's not Ainsley. He could still see my little head sound asleep on my pillow. When my dad went upstairs to check on me a few minutes later, I was still fast asleep in my bed. I can't remember her, but this little girl has always been around. I don't think she's evil or has any malicious intent. She feels playful and curious more than anything. In our living room, the couch is always faced away from the stairs, and if you're standing on the stairs, you can see the entire living room. My parents told me that when my sister and I were younger, we would often stand on the couch, waving and babbling towards the stairs, even though no one was there. And when I got older, I would babysit for my mom's friends at our house. There were several occasions with completely different children where we'd be sitting on the couch and they would suddenly hop up, turn around towards the stairs, and start waving and babbling, just like my sister and I used to. Ugh. The little girl would also do things around the house. She would turn on water faucets, leave cabinet doors open, and turn my sister's box fan off and on at night.
That's where we cross the line.
Relax. I say she was playful, but honestly, I think she had it out for my sister. Although I can't really blame her because my sister was a bit of a demon child back then. Shae could attest that I was the same. Many times when my mom was putting my sister down for bed or a nap, she would turn the fan on, only for it to shut off by itself a few minutes later. My mom would turn it back on, and the same thing would happen again. Eventually, my mom would say out loud in her stern teacher voice, "Stop, she has to go to sleep now." And after that, the fan would stay on. There were also many nights when my mom would check on us after we'd gone to bed and find my sister's covers completely pulled off of her, as if someone had stood at the foot of her bed and tugged them away. My sister would also complain and get mad at my mom for spinning her bed all night. We're not really sure what she meant by that, but it was still strange. My dad worked night shift a lot and would sleep in my sister's room during the day since it was quieter. He said that every time he tried to fall asleep up there, he could feel someone watching him. As I've gotten older, I haven't had any direct encounters with the little girl, and I don't remember actually ever seeing her, but I know she's still there because I can feel her. Before I moved away for college, I always felt paranoid and nervous in my house, but I chalked it up to my anxiety. I didn't truly understand the feeling until I lived in my own apartment. When I was alone there, I actually felt alone.
Ew.
So like you never got that peace until you finally are. And then you're like, oh.
It just gave me so many goosebumps.
I moved back home a few months ago to finish my master's degree, and that feeling is still here. Even when I'm alone, I'm never truly alone. I can always sense something else's presence watching me as I go about my day. I don't feel threatened or scared. I just know that something is always there. I can even feel their presence right now as I type this. Since our house was built, I've tried to look into the history of the land to see what might have been here before it became a subdivision. The only thing I've found so far is that the area had a lot of Civil War history and was also part of the Appalachian frontier. One of my theories is that she may have been a Native American child or an early settler who passed away on this land, possibly due to illness or the violence that was common during that time. Another theory is that she may have come into the house through an object, since my mom did own a few antiques. I plan to do more research and will update if I find anything else. Thank you so much for hearing my story. I look forward to listening to my favorite ghosty girls every week. Love you guys, Ainsley.
Stop, I'm gonna cry, Ainsley.
I know, so sweet.
That's so cute. First of all, go off, get that master's degree, girl.
Yeah.
Also, researching your own land, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love that, like, I don't know, it seems like your parents still live there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's the vibes I got.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things it reminded me of is how your mom had to be like, okay, stop. Our dad has a story that was very similar where he had an armoire, you know, like the dresser. And we had like a little girl ghost. We thought it was a little girl ghost, but we also thought it was something not nice, acting like a little girl ghost. But our dog, he would say that like his bedroom door would kind of creak. Our dog slept on his side of the bed and she was a mastiff, so a big dog. And he said she would like lift her head up and like watch something. There was also a squeaky board that had to be pressed.
Right in the middle.
He said the board would be pressed and then his armoire would pop open. And then he'd get up and he'd close it and it would happen like a few more times. Then he'd be like, okay, stop. And it would stop. Or Bubba did the same thing about Gus, like to the lights.
Yeah.
The bathroom lights were going on and off. And our brother finally was like, that's enough. And then they stopped. I've been seeing a lot of videos like that though about the baby monitor stuff. And like the scary stuff you see on baby monitors.
Very Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, I'm very scared of those.
Yeah,
they scare me.
Should be.
Yeah, they freak me out.
They also freak me out.
Those scare me. But even the Insidious movies, I think like the very first Insidious movie plays off of that.
I think so. I think there is one maybe in there.
I think it's like the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's terrifying. And the little girl dressing and looking kind of like you. Enough like you to where your mom was like, why is she out of bed?
Yikes.
Yuck. But that's a really good story. And you wrote that very well. Yeah.
Yes, very well written story.
Going through it, it was like easy to read, made a lot of sense.
Painted the picture.
What also makes me uncomfortable is the part where you're like, I thought that I knew what it was felt like to be alone, but I was wrong. I didn't realize that till I had my own apartment. And then I really felt like I was alone.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's creepy.
Ooh.
That's not comfortable.
No, and I can like understand it because I can walk into like a house or a room and be like, don't like this place. Like I can feel that pretty quickly. And so like I understand the feeling of going from one to the next and being like, that was good. This is bad.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. Ainsley, thank you.
Yeah.
You're a queen.
Good. Yes, that was good. Good. Okay, this one is anonymous. So, hey, I found your podcast about a week ago and I am hooked. I have a story to tell. It might not be extremely scary, but it's definitely weird. Also, please ignore any mistakes. English is not my first language. About a year ago, I was staying overnight at my scout cabin. So I'm assuming maybe like Girl Scout or something like that. The cabin wasn't in the middle of nowhere, but it's still pretty isolated. I was there with 3 other girls. We were eating dinner when we suddenly heard knocking on the window. We brushed it off at first, but about 10 minutes later, we heard it again. 4 very distinct knocks. We tried to rationalize it and thought maybe it was an animal, but it still creeped us out. A few minutes later, we heard knocking coming from above us. The cabin does have an attic, but it was only the 4 of us there, so that didn't make any sense. Then we heard knocking from underneath us, and the thing is, there's no basement. At that point, we were really scared. One of the girls called her mom, and she agreed to come pick her up, but before the mom arrived, a face suddenly popped up in the window. We were completely startled. The group leader went outside to see who it was, and it turned out to be 2 of her friends. She was frustrated and asked them why they would do something like that. They looked genuinely confused and asked what she meant. When we told them what had been happening, they said that they had just been at a nearby farm and were literally just here to say hi. It could have been them, but it still doesn't explain the knocking underneath the cabin. It could also have been an animal, but what kind of animal makes 4 clear rhythmic knocks?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't feeling well that night and had a fever, and combined with how scared I already was, I decided to go home. The others stayed. Everything was apparently fine the next morning, but the story still creeps me out to this day.
Ew.
Yeah. I mean, it could be an animal, but what animal goes to the ceiling and knocks
then to the side
4 times? Yeah.
And then to the under.
And it's almost like the 4 knocks. Normally you like get knocks in series of 3, but there was 4 of them, like 4 people.
Oh, true.
So I'm like, I wonder if it was
true.
like something about the 4 people that it was knocking about.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like any cabin in the wood.
Ever.
In the wood.
In the wood?
I don't like any cabin in the wood. Yeah, no.
Yikes.
But I like the woods.
Yeah.
During the day. For the most part.
Yeah. I could agree with that statement.
But I can still see, like, now as a kid, I was in the woods nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Now as an adult, I'm like, who let me do that?
Yeah, right. Whose idea was this?
Well, my mom didn't, actually. She would come home and be like, there was a rock on the porch. I went in the creek today. And we'd be like, no.
But it was in the middle of the day.
Yeah, but then her argument was like, y'all are going to get bit by copperheads. And I am at work in Fort Worth.
Well.
And we never saw snakes down there, but we always saw snakes on the bridge. So they were definitely down there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another mystery in and of itself, how we did not.
Correct.
The scary, oh my God.
The places that we just went exploring.
Yeah.
Craziness.
The scariest part ever was I would go behind the woods at my house and there was just like vast hill woods and there was like old windmill. We've talked about this before, but there was old stuff like that. And the only time that I was ever actually scared up there is we came across like a camping area, like where people had been living in like a tent. And we were like, gross, close to home. Cause my mom never locked the doors.
Yeah.
And then our back door already was kind of like, didn't really work. It didn't work well. No. I still have nightmares about where people are trying to break into my house and I'm trying to get that back door. And Murphy has nightmares about it too, is what she said. She's like, I have dreams about that back door all the time. And I'm like, why do we have that? I never had that dream there, but like not living there in so many years.
That's crazy. Weird.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But yeah, now when you say that, I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that door being
back
a
door
pain
like
in the
never
ass.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm like, my mom was just like raising us to just be attacked. Or
you know, we all were.
The first time she ever left me home alone, she had like, we watched Sleepy Hollow, like the scary Sleepy Hollow. It's probably not scary now, but I remember the devil in the Sleepy Hollow, like back then, the way he looked. And I was like, that guy's scary. Scary. And then she left me home alone. It was dark outside and the back kitchen windows that led to the forest were open. And I was like, I'll sit here until someone saves me. Like I didn't move until she got back home. Like, girl.
Oh God.
I think she just had to go get Caden from like guitar practice or something. But I was like, I don't know why I didn't go with her.
You can't see me. I can't see you.
Yeah. Is that not an option?
No, that's funny.
Okay. Story number 4. Hi, I recently came across your podcast while searching for stories about Roanoke, and I've slowly been working my way through all of your other episodes while I'm at work. Nice. Yeah. I was so surprised. Like I did that episode because it just kind of reminded me of like Thanksgiving, like the time of Thanksgiving. I don't know. And it's been one of our like most popular episodes. And I'm like, random. Cool. But cool.
Whatever, man.
Don't know how we did that. I just listened to your sleep paralysis episode and I have a couple of stories of my own. I always feel like I sound crazy when I tell people about this, so I hope it doesn't come across as too insane.
Oh no.
This is going to be a little long, so I apologize in advance, but here goes. I was born and raised in Washington State in a small rural town. My family lived in a house out in the country with our closest neighbors at least half a mile away. My grandparents also lived close by, only about a mile and a half down the road, and I feel like that is an important detail. I've experienced sleep paralysis for as long as I can remember, but there are only a few incidents that remain vivid in my memory. I'm also not the only one in my family who's experienced it. My dad and my paternal grandmother, who live down the road, have both had sleep paralysis episodes that were disturbingly similar to mine. I know it's common during sleep paralysis to feel a presence or see a dark entity, but all of our experiences involved something else entirely. Aliens.
Aliens?
All 3 of them.
Let's go.
I know how crazy that sounds. I don't have a rational explanation for it, other than the fact that I feel it in my bones that these incidents are somehow connected. I believe it started with my dad. When I was around 15 or 16 years old, my parents had gotten into an argument. My dad ended up sleeping in our camp trailer that was parked outside the house. This isn't my story, so some of the details are fuzzy, but my dad described waking up and being completely unable to move, like classic sleep paralysis. When he looked towards the foot of the bed, he saw a small gray creature. He described it as unmistakably alien-looking with sharp claws. It was barely taller than the foot of the bed, maybe about 3.5 feet off the ground, and it was clawing at the bed, trying to climb up toward him. My dad doesn't remember anything after that. He didn't wake himself up or break out of his paralysis. He just woke up the next morning with the image burned into his memory. My dad is an outdoorsy guy. He loves being in the woods, carries a concealed weapon, and is one of the toughest, most rational people I know. He's not easily scared, and every part of this felt far too real to him. Now, here's my experience. Only a few nights to maybe a week after my dad's incident, and before he had told anyone about it, I had my own. I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and at this point, I had my own bedroom. I was asleep, and then suddenly, I wasn't. In my dream, my brother and I were talking in my bedroom with the door closed so we wouldn't wake our parents. I don't remember what we were talking about or why he was there at all, because the last thing I remembered before that was being asleep in bed. My cat was also in the room with us. Suddenly, she started staring at the door, her fur standing straight up. And then, bam, I was back in my bed, completely unable to move. I had no idea where my brother went. My bedroom door slowly opened, and floating in the doorway, about 2 feet off the ground, was a small gray alien. It was surrounded by a brightish blue light, but the light didn't seem to be coming from the being itself. It almost looked like the light was just holding it up. And that was it. I saw it. And the next thing I remember is waking up with every detail still incredibly vivid. Later that same week, my family went to visit my grandparents. My grandpa was away on a hunting trip, so it was just my grandma at home. I was always the kind of kid who liked sitting with the adults and listening to their stories, and my grandma started telling us about a dream she had the night before. She said she was asleep when something woke her up. She couldn't move. All she remembered was seeing out of the corner of her eye a bright bluish light coming from the hallway across from her bedroom. She watched as it moved down the hallway and then disappeared. The next thing she remembered was waking up the following morning. I felt sick to my stomach. I shared my dream from only a few nights earlier, which prompted my dad to finally share his. None of us had talked about our experiences before that moment, and each of us had them independently. I'm 26 now, and I still think about this often. All 3 of us continued to experience sleep paralysis for years afterward. My dad and my grandma still have episodes from time to time, but since I moved out, I've only had 1 or 2. Now, my fiance experiences sleep paralysis as well, but he can't remember what happens during it. I'm usually the one who wakes him up and keeps him awake for a while, because if he falls right back to sleep, it starts all over again. By the end of this year, my fiance and I will be moving back into my parents' house in a rent-to-own situation while they build a smaller house on my grandparents' property. I can't help but to wonder if my sleep paralysis will start up again. I know this all sounds insane, and I don't mind if people don't believe it. I lived it, and I know it happened. I just can't explain any of it. Thank you so much for taking the time to read my story. I felt like it was something I had to share. I love the podcast and can't wait to binge the rest. They didn't say if I could use their name or not, so I'm just going to use Taylor as their name.
Wonderful.
I mean, their name is Taylor. I just didn't want to put their whole...
Oh, yeah, sure. First of all...
What the hell?
Thank you for sharing your story. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think y'all are being abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Bro? Like, what?
It seems very much the land to me, and like the aliens in that area, because I've had sleep paralysis, and how none of you seem to wake up after, like, the way my sleep paralysis goes away is by me waking up.
Mm-hmm.
And none of y'all do that.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
It seems like you're just more in like a, not so much of sleep paralysis, but paralysis.
Yeah.
From
I agree.
Said alien.
I also agree.
That's wild.
But so cool.
Yeah.
But I want to know like I want to know if you and your like grandma and your dad, like if y'all give off some sort of vibe, or if y'all have more like psychic abilities that they're tapping into. Like if they know that y'all have got more abilities than maybe, because you said you're the oldest of 4. So do any of if your siblings don't have the problem, or like your mom or your granddad, like, is it because they don't have the same like frequency that y'all do?
Yeah. Maybe y'all have some sort of like executive bloodline that they're looking for.
You are the elite.
You are our leader.
Come hybridization with us so we can make black-eyed kids. That's really cool though. But it's crazy that it's, that
like was also similar. Yeah, that's wild.
But continue to write us when you move back home and let us know.
Very curious to know.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious as well. There was something it made me think of and now it's gone. Oh, So I was talking to someone the other day and they were talking about how their dad has like just in tune. Like he's just there. Like he's just got it. And their mom passed away, which was his wife. And they'd been married they met at like 17 and 19, like married for a long time. And she passed away at 41. So they were together for half their life. And he would dream and he would wake up and be like, I was almost to her. Like, I know I was getting close to her in my dream. Like,
oh my God.
He was like, I was going through places I knew I should not be going through, but I was getting closer to her. And he would wake up with scratches all over his body.
What?
I was like, I think he's astro projecting or something, because he's like physically seems
going
to be
places.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That he's like not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, you need to stop because I just lost my mom and I can't lose my dad too. So just like relax.
Relax for a minute.
But apparently my coworker.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She also said that her house is like her childhood home is so haunted and it's like the ghost of the person who built the house in like 1906 or 1907. And you can see like the butt of her dress like flutter around the corner.
Ew.
She's like, but she never made her feel, she was like, the basement makes you feel scared. The rest of the house does not. And then her dad has stuff like that. But she said her dad is just like really in tune. So then it makes me wonder, like, Taylor, are you and your family, like, is there certain ones of you that are just more in tune?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You never know.
But yeah, that was a great story.
Yeah.
Keep us updated for sure when you go home. Like, for sure, let us know whenever.
Yeah. I'm locked into that.
And I want to know if your husband, because he should be your husband at that point in time, I assume. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you stay fiancés. Whatever. I want to know. What his dreams what happened in his dreams.
Period.
Curious. Because my husband didn't really believe in any of that stuff until he's been with me, and he still is kind of like skeptical, but he definitely believes a lot more of it now. Like he's like, yeah, that was pretty dark. I felt weird. That.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I told you.
Yeah. Just pay attention.
Yeah. Open up a little bit. Story number 5. Hi, ladies. My name is Ryan, and I've been listening to the podcast for a few months now. I just listened to your Trans-Allegheny episode and want to write in. My mom's side of the family is from a small town just across the border in Maryland, so West Virginia isn't very far from us. We make trips there every so often, and we're all fans of the strange and macabre. You know, why is macabre spelt the way it is?
Dude, I don't know. It hurts my brain every time.
I'm like, macabre.
Macrabe.
Yeah, what the hell? Because of that, we almost always stop to see the asylum when we're in the area. I've had a few experiences there and have had people in our tour groups and even family members of my own that also have experiences. For some background, I was a proud member of what we jokingly called Operation Clusterfuck in 2020, working in the ER.
Let's go.
What's the name of your group in the ER?
So many things. That's about the same one.
About that.
That's about the same.
Because of that, it's a strange feeling walking through the asylum and hearing stories about the horrors people endured there, especially knowing that many of the practices continued until as recently as 1994. I once did a tour with a paranormal investigation group, however you feel about those, and almost immediately something seemed to latch onto the healthcare aspect of me. From what we gathered, the entity appeared to be a nurse. It kept leading me to nurses' stations, work areas, and past that felt like someone was just walking through their daily routine. We used a dowsing rod and an EMF detector, and it was as if she was guiding me throughout her day. Honestly, it was kind of touching, having like a long-lost sister led me around type of feel. On the overnight tours, many ghost hunters have trigger objects like small balls for spirits to interact with, and during one of these tours, my mom was listening to a presentation about lobotomies when a ball suddenly rolled about 8 inches and nudged her foot. At first, she thought it was my dad messing with her until she realized she was slightly separated from the group, and my dad was with me and my nurse spirit a good distance away. As with every group, there's always someone who doesn't believe and feels the need to provoke. One man claimed to be a skeptic and took every opportunity to challenge the spirits. At one point, he sat down in one of the cages. There's really no nicer way to say what that was. And not long after, he jumped up suddenly, saying he'd been scratched. When we looked, he had marks across his back and looked like he had fought a raccoon and lost. The Trans-Allegheny Asylum is a very somber place, heavy with history. I do recommend visiting for anyone who's interested, but I think it's important to remember that these were real people who lived here, and what happened to them was a tragedy. All the best, Ryan.
True. Ryan.
Yeah. I think even like as a skeptic, like I'm not a skeptic, but being someone who is a skeptic, it's so incredibly disrespectful to go there, regardless if you believe in the spirits or not. The history alone to go there and act like
and
that.
act a fool.
Yeah. Like just the history itself, you should be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
But most skeptics, I would assume, are not empathetic.
No, they're usually douche holes.
Weenies. Because if you have empathy, I feel like is what leads you to kind of, you believe everything in somebody normally, right? Because you're empathetic to them. So like, even if they're lying, you like have, like you lean more towards them telling the truth.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it might be the same way when you think of the paranormal realm, being just empathetic and feeling the vibe of the room.
Yeah.
We also do believe in the paranormal groups and investigations.
Yeah.
Just, we went on like one and we were like, yep, that's real. That was it.
That was it.
Which we saw, was it Sam and Colby or Project Fear? Project Fear went to the Sorrel Weed House. I sent you the link.
Oh, yeah, Project Fear.
I cannot
I forgot
wait.
to watch it.
I cannot see, like they don't have that episode
it's
out,
not
yet.
out yet. Yeah.
I cannot wait for that episode to see like what aligns with us.
What we felt.
But I also felt like you felt in the doctor area, whatever room down there.
Yes, I did.
And you're a nurse. And but I've seen a lot about that, like Project Fear as well. Chelsea's an eye doctor. Yes. She's an optometrist. And so like hospitals and stuff, they'll kind of throw her to the wolves with it, but it's because she's got like the medical knowledge and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Did you watch some of their episodes and like it?
I watched one episode, the one that I sent you, and I can't remember. They were at some hotel. It was a newer episode, and they did the what's it called? Where they do the blindfold
Estes method.
For some reason I wanted to say the Shirley method, the Estes method. Yes, and the like spirit that they were trying to connect with was this doctor guy, who was like terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was very interesting.
Was that one of the first Estes methods you've ever seen?
Yes. Well, I watched the one with Sam and Colby and the triplets, I think.
Probably the Sternello or whatever brothers. I think the Estes method is it's so interesting. For those of you who do not know what the Estes method is, because it's pretty new, I'd say. Like it wasn't ever on Ghost Adventures. Mm-hmm. I think the guy who actually came up with it did it at, I almost want to say the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, in the Estes Park.
Yeah. I want to say that's where it started. But basically you put a blindfold on and then you have noise canceling headphones that are connected to like a radio frequency, and someone in the room will be asking questions to the spirits, and then the person who's blindfolded with the earphones on will have words come across the frequencies, and you kind of see if the stories line up or not, because the goal is they should not be able to hear you through the headphones. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the ones I've watched are very interesting and really like give. And I've even seen where they've tested the theory where like, I think it was Project Fear, where like two of them went downstairs and were asking the questions while they were upstairs to try and like let you know, like they should not be able to hear. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting. Yeah, it was
very interesting. So yeah, I'll be very interested to see what they feel in the
Sorrel, because that's where we did our investigation, like paranormal investigation, the max we could do, but we felt a lot.
But that's really cool that you guys have visited there multiple times, I think, too.
Yeah, you get different experiences and feelings and like validity in that. Like I would like to go back to that place.
Yeah.
And to see if we got like the same. Mm-hmm. But the thing is now we kind of know what they would say. And so that's the hard part, is being like tainted. But a place that big, like the Trans-Allegheny would be, I feel like it would be hard to be like, oh, well, this is where this always happens. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
they're going a little bit blind. Very interesting. Really cool though. I wish we lived more near like haunted stuff like that. It's all like northeast, not near us.
I know.
I don't feel like. Okay, last story. Hey sisters, I recently found your podcast and I'm working my way through all the episodes from the beginning. I absolutely love listening to you both. I really enjoy how close and fun your dynamic is. Someone the other day said it wasn't, they were like, are y'all actually sisters? And I was like, yes. That's why the name is Sister Exchange. Listening to your podcast has reminded me of all the unexplainable and creepy things that have happened throughout my life. And I wanted to share one of my stories. I'm not great at writing things out, especially on my phone, so I hope this makes sense. One of my weirdest experiences happened when I was a kid at a slumber party when we played light as a feather, stiff as a board. That is the only ritual type game I have ever been willing to play. No Bloody Mary for me. There were probably 8 or 10 of us girls, and I was the one everyone chose to lift. I was never a small kid, always a little heavier, so we figured I'd be a good test. I don't know the official rules of the game, but we decided to test whether the chanting actually made a difference or not. First, everyone tried lifting me using just 2 fingers each without chanting. They were able to lift me a little, but not easily. Then everyone started chanting, light as a feather, stiff as a board, over and over until we were all perfectly in unison. When they tried lifting me again, it was completely different. I felt different. I honestly felt like I was floating. The girls lifted me high off the ground, and the sensation scared me so badly that I actually sat up while I was still in the air. For a brief moment, I was sitting upright, suspended in the air, and then the spell broke. They gently lowered me back down. I didn't fall, and no one dropped me. We were all just staring at each other, completely freaked out. It wasn't anything dramatic or flashy, but the fact that it actually worked was what made me so unsettled. After that, we quickly moved on to other non-creepy games. I also have several types of ghost stories. I swear I have a knack for haunted houses. If you'd like to hear more, I'd be happy to send them, or I may just send a few as I find time. Have a lovely day, Sabrina. Yes.
Sabrina!
And then it said like yes, as in the teenage witch.
Yes, love it.
Yeah.
First of all of you guys have amazing names. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with all of them. I remember trying to play light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Was it in our bedroom?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel like I was there.
It was It was during the spa day
Yes.
birthday party. And it was because I don't know if I got the book for that birthday or if it was a book that I had. It was like the big book of being a girl, or like the big guide to be, I don't know. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It was like a hardback and it was pink and it had like gold.
Yeah, I do.
And it had like Girl Scout stuff in it, but then also like skincare stuff and like it was random, but I loved that book. It had so much interesting stuff in it.
Yeah, like sleepover stuff, all that.
Yeah. And that was in there. Light as a feather, stiff as a board was in there under like there was some chapter that it was under. I don't remember what it was called. But anyways, I digress. We tried playing it and I don't remember anything that happened, but I remember that we did it.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody was like, I don't think we were all like focused enough.
Yeah, I think we're probably freaked out. Well, because that was also the same time we made all of our friends watch Final Destination. We were like, happy slumber party. We're in 3rd grade, Final Destination. Honey knocked on, we tried to do like a seance in the living room, and Honey knocked on his nightstand, and we had told everyone that Gus lived in the water heater closet at the end of the hallway.
Yep.
And his bedroom was over there. So when he knocked, it scared everybody. We just like petrified all of our friends. We're like, come over and get scared.
What's wrong? What was wrong with us? What was wrong with us?
Clearly nothing has changed. You are all now our friends who get to get scared.
Oh yeah, some things never change, man.
No, I don't think so. I always did that to friends too, though. Like, I remember there was one time specifically I had Foley over to Dad's house, and I like hid behind a corner, and I would just like leave her. I would just like disappear in Dad's house, and she'd be like trying to find me, and I'd jump out and I'd be like, ah! And she was like the quietest, calmest, and she'd be like, ah! Like start crying. Like, get it together. Let's do it again.
Let's go again.
Like I've always been that way.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
I don't know. Now my husband does it to me instead. Torment.
Yeah, my husband
Payback.
does it to me too.
Yeah, not a fan.
I just don't ever think that far ahead.
I do, but then I scare myself in the process. It's like when you're playing hide and seek and you're like, yeah, this is a good spot. And then you're in it
and
and
then
you're
by yourself and you're like, oh, I hope they come find me soon.
yeah. And then your breathing is as loud as ever. And it's like, and you're like, damn, I'm in a really good spot. I can't shut up.
No, literally.
Oh, goodness. And someone else did comment. They commented that, and I commented back and said, how we play hide and seek, when we play it backwards, we've always called it seek and hide.
Mm-hmm.
And they called it sardines.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
I've never heard it called that.
I haven't either.
Was that like a overseas thing?
I think it was a UK thing.
Yeah.
But there's some episodes where Sam and Colby have done that. They'll like take guests and they'll be like, okay, so you go hide and the last person to be found or whatever, or something like that is who will have like a challenge at the end of the night. Like they'll like come up with a challenge for them.
Fun.
Except I don't want to play sardines in a haunted mansion or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Or a haunted hospital or like a haunted gym, or I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. Let me play in a non-haunted area because I'm still going to be scared regardless. If it's haunted,
Even
I'm
worse.
really going to be scared.
Especially when you think you have someone hiding with you and then all of a sudden there's no one there.
Don't do that. What is wrong with you?
That's where my brain went.
God.
Like imagine you're like, oh, I found somebody, and you go sit with them, and then all of a sudden you're like, who are
who
you?
are you?
Who are you?
Oh my God, I'm going to throw up.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. But yeah, that's all we've got. I hope those were fun. They were super fun to read. Very interesting.
I liked all those.
Yeah, I had a completely different topic picked out this morning. And then right before I came here, I was like, yeah, I want to do listener stories instead. So I'll do my other topic later. I felt like I couldn't do 2 haunted locations like back to back.
Yeah, I'm doing something very different this week too.
Ooh, excited. Well, I guess if you have any stories, send them to sistersofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com. We will share them as we get them. And if you have any recommendations or anything like that, I've seen like a couple as I was going through the emails, there were some recommendations in there and things. So we will read those from sisterofthestrangepodcast@gmail.com, and then go like, follow, subscribe, all of our YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Our Discord is completely free. So if you want to go just join the chat, it's fun. Same thing with Facebook. It's just like a community area to where like y'all could post a funny meme if you wanted to, and then people comment and there's just like interaction there. Mm-hmm. So feel free. If you don't want to, don't. That's fine. And we will see you
on Friday
later this week. Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Sisters of the